Christmas is about the season of joy, but what brings me great joy other than food? Hello there, how's today? I'm Ame Gakita des. Obviously, some of you might misheard it as food. The word there is another word for feed. Yeah, unless you like to lick a feed, then by all means go ahead. I'm not stopping you. But other than that, I mean, like, any festival season is always all about food. You think about New Year, there's the New Year food. You think about Thanksgiving, there's Thanksgiving food. And obviously Christmas, there is the Christmas food. But the thing is, right, often more than not, there is quite the stuff that I always go for during Christmas or even at the end of the year, because all the 5 food that I'm going to talk about is food that I always tend to go for regardless of any time, anywhere. But if given a chance, I will always go for them no matter what. So obviously we are going to talk about 5 food that bring me great joy, and also 5 of my favorite. There are many more, but it's just that maybe this 5 is just something that maybe I don't really say a lot of time. But then again, I might always talk about them in live stream, so that's hard for me to remember. So let's start out with fried chicken. Yes, in Japan they call it fried chicken for some apparent reason. But then again, one of the thing is, right, in Japan, well, I'm no longer in Japan. The thing is, right, fried chicken is always tend to be their so-called, because it's the substitute for turkey. But the thing is, right, even back in Singapore, when given a chance, if there is a bird-like food for me to go for Christmas, it's always fried chicken. And obviously there is 2 things that is required for me in the fried chicken. You don't just anyhow just bread the chicken, make it crispy, and then you just fry it, and then you bite into it only to realize that the chicken meat tastes bland. There is quite the procedure. Well, obviously the breading is matter. The crispier the better, at least in my book. The thing is, right, what a lot of people may not be aware is that I always tend to go to marinate the chicken, be it boneless chicken or with bone chicken. I always try to marinate them to let the chicken absorb the meat or the juice or whatever, the marinade in a way, so that when you bite into it, at least it will be juicy, it will be crispy at the same time. So that's the important thing, as well, is that it's going to be tasty. Often more than not, I go and eat quite a lot of fried chicken that always tend bland along the line, but I can't really blame them when I'm craving for some fried chicken, right? And one of the things is, right, during Christmas or any other time, if given a chance, I will always go for the fried chicken, because it is one of the things that I love to, like, get the crunchy sound. I mean, like any other fried food, like very crispy French fry, or even like fried gyoza, I'm all with that. But nothing beat a fried chicken. More so if you're a person who do weightlifting along the line, and you just need every chicken protein in the meat along the line. But then again, I mean, like, it's really one of my go-to meal. Now, the second thing is that I do go for, and I think a lot of people might not be aware that I tend to talk about, is always hamburger, or in America they call it burger. So the thing is, right, hamburger is really one of the moments that I always love to go for. There can be the breakfast burger, there can be the lunch burger, there is any other burger. And the funny thing is that whether in some people's definition that is burger a sandwich, that's for you guys to decide. The thing is, right, for me, it's always the moment that if I really love a burger, I can just go to McDonald's. And if you guys have a chance to visit like Singapore or Japan, and you do try out the burger, it's very unlike from America McDonald's. It at least is look fresh and tasty, unlike the one in America. From what I've been told by many people, that American hamburger or the McDonald's tastes a bit off or something along the line, so hard to know. But never have a bad experience in Singapore or Japan, and this is the one that I ate in Japan, and it's really one of the moments that I love a good burger. The fresh lettuce, the tomato, the meat, you bite into it, nice and juicy. And if I kind of want it to cook it myself, obviously I can make my own burger. Just get a bun, get some meat, fry it out, put some lettuce, tomato, or if you want some condiment, by all means make your own along the line, and then go for it. It's really one of the moments that sometimes I make my own, or sometimes I just go and get it. But the thing is, right, sometimes making your own burgers actually tastes way better, because in a way you taste your effort as well. I mean, like, unless you are too lazy to just go and get some from nearby along the line. And it's really one of the things that I would tend to love to go for hamburger, is that It's simple, and often more than not, I don't really go with the side of fry. If the meal I call do have a fry, I will go for it. But often more than not, you notice that I tend to go for even like just one set of meal with the drink and a side of fry. But there is a moment where sometimes I will just order one more burger. Am I learning towards the way of America? Don't know. I mean, like, I just love to have two burgers. But often more than not, if given a fry, I will eat it. But I'll try to just eat two burger and just one drink. Is that I not that I hate French fry, right? Often more than not, when the French fry that I go for it had to be not want to be crispy, but a lot of places doesn't serve a good fry, at least in my book. So it's very hard to say. As well as another thing is that because potato contain quite a lot of carbs, so for me, if I want to control my weight, obviously not eating the fry is actually not really a big deal, at least in my book. I don't mind just eating two burger and one drink. There are times when I just order two a la carte, or just basically just a two burger, and then I just go out to any supermarket and get my own drink. It's still fine. But at the end of the day, making your own burger actually much better, considering that now there is a lot of good option to make your own patty along the line. I mean, like, if you're feeling a little bit fancy, just make your own patty if you need to. Now, this one is the third choice for me is very hard to categorize, because I mean, like, if this go on, this is gonna be like a whole lot of lists, alright? There will be more than 5. But then again, I decided that I realized that a lot of the thing I like is actually just noodles. It can be pasta, it can be Japanese noodle, it can be Chinese noodle, it can be Southeast Asia, whatever noodle there is. And the thing is, right, noodles has always been one of my favorite thing to go for, more so that you can even like serve it in dry or with soup, or even sometimes just cold or hot, depending on which one you fancy. And the thing is, right, there is quite a lot of option like I love to go for. You can even fry the noodle, or even sometimes when you want to like eat some pasta. I mean, like, Italian will definitely call it pasta. There is the carbonara, there is the American style of mac and cheese, or even like some of there is like a lot of different pasta out there. Can't remember all the name, but the thing is, right, when it came to like noodles, like, again, there is like dry, there is the soup one, then there is also sometimes the cold one. So like, even a lot of people may not be aware is that whilst ramen is one of my favorite, a lot of people may not be aware is that before ramen there is one more spot that I always give, and that is a cold soba. Like, cold soba itself is also another noodle dish from Japan, and it's really one of the things that I always go for, because you just need to get the noodle, dip it into the sauce or the soup, depending on how you call it, but it's actually just basically a soyu dashi along the line. That sometimes you add like spring onion and whatnot, and it's really one of the simple dish that you can make yourself. Just cook the noodle, and then after that you put it into cold water to wash away the starch, and then you put it into ice water to make it cold, and then you serve it along the line. It's very, very simple, and sometimes the side dish also mash well. But the thing is, right, sometimes it depends on which one I fancy. Like, if I want to go for fried one, I will go for fried one. If I go for ramen, obviously ramen. But the thing is, right, it's really hard to know, like, if I'm gonna categorize like all the pasta or noodle, whatever. I just noticed that it's just basically noodles. That it's just too many for me to go for. And obviously, one of the things I always go for if I really feel feeling good, it just depends on which mood I have. Even like instant ramen is also fine for me. And it won't be like the first time I'll be talking about instant noodle itself, but in later one I'll talk about that. But the thing is, right, it's really like one of the moments that something, if I'm feeling like the fancy, I'll just maybe make some pasta. If I'm lazy, I will just go out and eat, or even cases that I just cut out the veggie, cut out the meat, and just make it my own. It's really one of the moments that it depends on my mood. But even lazy, I can just cook one instant ramen, soup ramen, and then be fine with it. It's really one of the easy things that I always go for. It doesn't need to be like, hey, Christmas or any festive period you have to eat something fancy. Even instant noodle works, alright? Now, but if I'm being lazy but I still want to eat a little bit fancy, there is something in Chinese, they call it a hot pot, or the Chinese word 火锅. The thing is, right, in Japan there is also the pronunciation for it, which is the nabe, and you can't really like say like is it nabe or is it hot pot. It's the same thing. It's just that it depends on what kind of soup base you are going for and what kind of ingredient you are going for. There are many stuff you can add. There are some people who love veggie. You just need to get a soup base, just any soup base. It can be even water, right? But the thing is, right, often more than not, people always add a little bit of like chicken stock or even like fish stock or whatever stock that is. Just the soup base good enough. Add a bit of water to make it a little bit and because the hot pot is going to be cooking all the time, you're going to lose a lot of water. And you just prepare some meat. It can be frozen, it can be fresh veggie or any veggie. And I mean, like, hell, you can even like just go all meat or all veggie. There's nothing wrong. Like, sure, if you are a vegetarian, you want to go all veggie, by all means go ahead. It's still called a hot pot. And the thing about hot pot that I love a lot is that it's simple. You just prepare the side, you prepare the soup, and then you just get a hot pot, you throw everything in, and voila, you got your own hot pot now. So the thing is, right, hot pot is one of the things that a lot of people may not be aware. It's also called the lazy dish as well, because you cook your own at the same time. The thing is, right, when you cook the dish in the hot pot, it is cooking in front of you. So the thing is, right, is you just prepare the side, you just prepare the food or you prepare the soup, and you don't need to cook. You just, everyone cook it themselves, and whoever want to eat it, once cooked, just scrape it out and eat. And best of all is that at the end of the day, right, when you left with the soup itself, what do? There is two things you can do. You can either drink it, and it will be more tastier because it got all the flavor from all the dish that you cook in, or you can actually sometimes put rice or even noodles to soak up the flavor and cook it, and then the noodle or the rice will have that flavor soup. It's really good. So often more than not, hot pot is really one of my favorite dish to eat, especially back when I was in Japan, and more so during the winters or even like any cold season, because when you eat something hot, you're just gonna feel that warm fuzzy feeling inside you along the line. But then again, I mean, like, it's really one of the moments where if I'm lazy, then I will call it a lazy dish. But then again, you can't really call a lazy dish when it tastes so good, right? Sure, it depends on how you go for, but at the end of the day, I always tend to not add noodles when I'm eating it alone, because if often more than not, when you serve out a lot of dish, yeah, the dish is more than enough to fill your stomach, then adding another kelp to again. And like I mentioned for the French fry, noodle is well, I do eat quite a lot of noodles along the line. When you eat a lot of kelp in your life, you are gonna gain weight more than you lose weight, alright? So if you're eating just dish itself, it's more than enough. Now, the final one that I always tend to easily go for, if I want a balance of meat and kale and I want to like split it into 3 different meal or 2 different meal depending on my mood, yeah, I will go for one pot. It's not the one pot theory about the chemical, whatever you want to call it along the line. If you're a scientist, I'm not a scientist, alright. One of the things that I love a one pot meal is that it often more than not is mean that it's another form of lazy meal, because you just cook one meal, throw everything into a pot and let it cook. And it's not the first time I do one pot cooking, especially back in Japan, because if I can cook something like this, or even like this, or even like this, or even like this, yeah, I think you understand that how much I love a one pot meal. And more so, if you guys notice that I always tend to throw in noodles, because just to have that balance of fulfillment. And while it may seem a lot, it is a lot. It often more than not, it is a meal meant for 2 or 3 depending on how much I'm serving. And I mean, like, if I'm lazy, I just throw everything in and be done with it. Can I finish it all if I'm hungry for it? Yes, I can. But then again, it will mean that I'll be gaining weight than losing weight. So often more than not, when I was back in Japan, I always tend to cook this one in one pot, and I split it in 2 meals. I split it, one for it to be eaten in the breakfast and then the other one for dinner. And I'm sure some people will be saying, like, isn't that a little bit bad if the food turn cold along the line? I'm not sure though. So far I've been eating, like, once it get cold, I'll just put it in the fridge, and then when I need it, I'll just take it out of the fridge and then just cook it out along the line. And it's way easier for me, because the thing is, right, when you cook in one meal, you're like, this kind of meal can like just cost less than $10 for me. And imagine like split into 2 meals, that's basically, or even like if I'm not hungry, I can just split into 3 meals if I need to. And it's actually more than enough, because it means that I can take less time to do cooking, and I can just spend more of my time doing like gaming or random chat recording along the line. And that's one of the things I've been doing. While in Singapore, I hardly do one pot nowadays, because Most often more than not, I do eat dinner with my family, but it still doesn't mean that I don't cook one pot in large amount. I can do one pot in small little amount if I fancy. Sometimes it just based, but then again, it's kind of like became a one meal, so I really don't call it one pot. One pot is mostly served to be like for multiple meal, at least in my book. But again, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like depends on how you look at it. If you call it one pot, but it's still only for yourself. Is this still called one pot? I don't know. Maybe you guys write in the comment section below. But anyway, at the end of the day, this is one of my top 5 meal that I always tend to go for if possible. I mean, like one pot fried chicken, a good hamburger, even noodles, or even hot pot, depending on how you want to go for. It's really one of my favorite meal to go for, especially during festive season or whatsoever. And I mean, I'm sure there are many other food I can talk about, but then again, some of them will be categorized as snack and what's not. So now I'm just talking about the main food. Now the thing is, there are too many food I do like. I mean, like even like when I talking about noodle itself, there's the ramen, like there's so many different ramen, soyu ramen, konkatsu ramen, or even like the Chinese kheer soup noodle, or even like shark fin soup. Somehow some people add noodle to it for some reason. There are actually, I heard of it, but I never seen it. Thing is, right, there's so many different kind of soup based to noodles, but then again, it depends on how you fancy, right? At least from how I look at it. But at the end of the day, there are just too many food out there for me to decide. But this is just basically the top 5 that I always tend to go for. Top 5 that I always try to, if during festive period, go at least get one of them, because it is something that I like. So at the end of the day, which one do you fancy? Do you guys fancy a hot pot? Do you guys fancy a burger? What is your go-to meal at the end of the day? You can write in the comment section, we can discuss it further. But then again, this is just basically all my choice. It's not a speculation, it is my favorite, but at the end of the day, it is still a random chat. Whether you guys agree or disagree, just write in the comment section. Do you guys think that some of the meal is just ridiculous, or maybe you guys got your own meal? Yeah, we can discuss that as well. If not, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or even random at time. But the one thing I hope is not random for you guys is have a nice day or night and a happy new year.